commemorations of the Portuguese star heading to the Middle East, of course, and his new club. It was amazing scenes. So, Oggy, let's begin with you. What did you make of all that ruckus and his introduction and the press conference as well? Because for a second, though, he said he was in South Africa.
Yeah, it wasn't the best start, was it, to get the place wrong by about 6,000-7,000 miles? But he is where he is, and I think we have to accept that he's going to finish his career in Saudi Arabia. I've said before, I think it's a shame, but I did expect there to be a real kind of welcome for him because it's Cristiano Ronaldo. It's one of the biggest names in world football. He's a superstar, and Saudi Arabia's never seen anything like this in terms of football before. So I did expect that kind of showbiz element to it. When he plays his first game, I guess it'll be the same again. But I do think that once the kind of the novelty wears off for him and for Saudi Arabia, it will be like he's playing in a backwater. It'll be playing in front of stadiums that are half full because he will add spectators to stadiums, of course he will. But some of the teams in Saudi play in massive stadiums. Now Al Hilal playing one of I think the stadium holds 60,000, and they never fill it. And you're not going to get 30,000 people suddenly turn up to watch Ronaldo. So it'll be strange for Ronaldo to have to play his final 2 years of his glittering career in stadiums which aren't full. I can't remember the last time he would have played a league game for anybody with an empty seat in the stadium, and that will happen in the next few weeks.
Janusz, he said he had offers throughout the world, actually. He said Europe, US, Australia. Did he make the right decision?
Look, I mean, for 200 million a year, I suppose he did. He says that, what did he say? That this country is unique because I'm a unique player. Well, he does love himself, doesn't he? I mean, we all do that, I suppose. Look, I mean, you have to take the money. I think in a way this, I don't know if I differ with Mark. I don't know for sure, but I think there will be people there. I think, being in Qatar, Mark, probably you saw the reaction. We saw the Saudi Arabia win against Argentina and people coming over to watch the national team play. I do think that even though, if it's just a novelty of Ronaldo being there, I think, I agree there's a bigger picture, right? They do want to have the World Cup. I think he's going to be the ambassador. That's what this contract is all about. And I think, they twisted his arm to get there. Now, 200 million is a lot of reasons, I suppose, but I think maybe he sees that as a bigger picture. I don't necessarily think that there were these great offers from everywhere, because if they were, he would have gone.
Oggy, feel free to jump in here because we're gonna stick here with this Ronaldo chatter, because one thing that was very interesting to me regarding the press conference, and to Janus's point, I feel that there was a little bit of embellishment. Obviously, we knew about how he was pretty much offered to the likes of Bayern Munich and Chelsea, and strategically it just wasn't going to work out. The modern game has evolved, of course. Watching Lionel Messi win the World Cup probably didn't help causes of what he, is thinking for himself in the next few years. So what are the expectations of Ronaldo in this new era, do you think? Not just with the club, but also just from an international perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? From a football perspective, he could have, if he wanted to challenge, he should have gone to Brazil, America, Australia, all these places that he said he had offers. Portugal, debatable whether the offers were genuine, whether they were good enough, whether they could pay what he wanted. He's not gone for a challenge. He's not gone for a football challenge. He's gone almost, in some ways, in the way that Pele went to the US back in the 70s to the Cosmos, to try and turn a football country into a huge football country and be the kind of the flag bearer for, or the face of the new wave of footballers. Now, I have been told that one key area of this is that in Saudi Arabia, that MBS, the Crown Prince, has identified that it's a very young population that has an obesity problem, and he wants to change that by introducing sport to the masses. And one way of doing that, they believe, is to get Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia to kind of inspire the next generation of kids to be a footballer, to be like Ronaldo, to live like Ronaldo, to be fit, to look after your body. So from that perspective, that is a good thing. If Ronaldo can help, people in Saudi develop a healthier lifestyle and become more sportingly active, then that is a win. But I don't see how this move offers him any football satisfaction whatsoever. Al Hilal are Al-Nassr's big rivals. Al Hilal are the Real Madrid of Asian football. They're the reigning Champions League winners in Asia. They've won it more times than anybody else. So already the team on his doorstep is the biggest team. I guess in a football perspective, if Ronaldo can turn Al-Nassr into the Saudi champions, the Asian Champions League winners, then he'll have had a successful time there. But, if he said that he had offers from Brazil, I would have loved to see Ronaldo in Brazil, because what a way that would have been to go out, playing the home of Pele, playing the country that, is still regarded as the pinnacle of football. Brazil. Play there. See out your career by winning a title in Brazil. Don't go to Saudi Arabia and do it for the money, because that's what he's done.
Yeah, and look, you've mentioned Pele coming to America, and if Cristiano Ronaldo embraces, the situation in Saudi Arabia like Pele did in the United States, it's fair play. I mean, he can make a lot of changes, right? I mean, it's still very oppressive in Saudi Arabia, and he can go a long way maybe to make another legacy after football with that, because he's that sort of figure that millions and millions and millions and millions of people watch, and on social media and everywhere else. So he's got a unique opportunity there if he truly believes that that's what he's doing now as an ambassador. Maybe he can get in the ear of everybody there, and maybe make some subtle changes, and not just or subtle points, and maybe not just about obesity, but everything else. So I would like to see that, and I'll give him benefit of the doubt. But when it comes to football, I think we all understand what this means. It's sort of like the Chinese league. Remember how much we were talking about? Well, we always knew we weren't going to watch it. And some of the big stars, maybe not as big as Ronaldo, have gone to China. Where are those clubs? Some of them don't even exist anymore. The Oscars and Hulks of the world, and maybe some other bigger names that have gone. That's how I see it. It's as simple as that. Does he have the right to do it? Absolutely. He's absolutely right, by the way, that he's done everything that he could in Europe for the most part. He's won everything, and that's true, by the way. And if somebody comes in and makes that offer, it's hard to refuse. But I'd like to see him in that role of an ambassador, but in the same way that Pele embraced it. And he's done a lot of good, Pele, in the United States, on and off the pitch. Let's see if Ronaldo maybe can do that.
Well, I tell you, go ahead.
You mentioned earlier that he may become an ambassador for the World Cup bid in 2030, which would be an interesting challenge for Ronaldo, because obviously Spain and Portugal are one that they basically confirmed UEFA bid. Now, would Ronaldo go against his own country, the country that he led to the Euros? He's been a very proud Portuguese player. He gives everything for Portugal, and I don't think we could ever question his commitment to Portugal. But I think that would be very damaging for Ronaldo if he decided to front a Saudi Arabian World Cup bid, which could win the World Cup for Saudi Arabia ahead of Portugal. I think that would be a very dangerous move. So it'd be interesting to find out the detail of that, because I don't think he could do that and have, would it tarnish his reputation in Portugal? What he's done on the pitch will never be changed, but I think it wouldn't go down well if he suddenly led a bid which denied Portugal getting a World Cup.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.